Hi, Liliana. Thank you for being here with me today. So, Liliana, or Dr. Toledo Guzman, you just graduated, you earned your PhD in history. And I asked you to come here today to talk a little bit about your writing experiences while working on your PhD. I know that we've discussed prior to this recording today how there is this idea that sometimes writing centers are just as a remedy to help, but obviously that's not the case for you, for your story. So tell us what your experience is while working on your PhD, uh, working and writing with us.
Yeah, thank you, Nadia, for having me. And since I came to the U of A, I knew that the first thing I needed was a writing support, and not because I thought that there was something intrinsically wrong, but it was just for me and my conception of doing a PhD, eh, that should be part of my journey because that was the case in Mexico where I'm from. I took classes there on in my program on how to write an essay. So there was an assumption that you needed that kind of support of writing because our different intellectual activities, reading and debating in class, than writing and putting that on paper. So I remember that in this a big introductory events in August each semester, that there was a stand of the WSIP, and I took many brochures from different places like the rec center, etc. But for me, after that a big event, I knew that the first thing I could do was to enroll to all kind of workshops or support or activities. I didn't know how it worked, but I knew that I wanted to be in touch with WSIP services um, right away. So I joined two writing groups since my first semester, and then I learned more about how individual tutoring sections work. Then I learned about the drop-in sessions, and I discover many other resources and many other ways that WSIP support me. Like, for example, not just how other people's input on my work on what I wrote helped me, but a learning from other graduate students who were working in a similar process.
Right? So both peer support and one-on-one. That's great. What is the one thing that you found the most beneficial when you were working with your peers in your small groups?
Um, Definitely, I think it could be to have a different idea of my own work and to notice things that they did immediately and for me was not obvious as for them. I was always impressed of a how when you share your work with people, they can notice things that are very obvious and very there, or just suggestions, or how to organize one paragraph that makes things way much better than I originally imagined. I will be grateful to have that interaction with brilliant people from archaeology, anthropology, or Southwest Center, other historians who brought their perspective on how to organize ideas. So it's not just about correcting grammar errors that happen too, but that's not the most important thing, but how they can give you alternatives on how to think more than just correcting
Mhm.
grammar errors.
Did that also help you to keep writing? Because sometimes we get stuck.
Mm.
We know we have to write, we need to write, we know what we want to say, but sometimes it doesn't come out. So do you think that, like you mentioned the groups and the peer support, that was out also like a motivation to moving
Absolutely.
forward with your writing?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a very this depends on the personalities, but to me, I need a schedule. If not, I get lost in my day. But sometimes I requested my permitted individual sessions without knowing if I had something by that time, but I did it as a routine because I knew that if I schedule a session, an individual session, not knowing what I wanted to present previously, that could push me to do it. So instead of waiting for the time, well, I will wait until I have one piece to present to the writing tutor. I remember one time I didn't have anything and I was stuck, and they helped me to solve, like to arrange my ideas. It was a kind of therapeutic session, like, okay, I just booked this session, I have this, and I don't know what to do. I'm really stuck. And starting with that sentence and with that conversation changed everything. And that happened till my last session that I would work with you. You remember organizing my PowerPoint. That was life changing. 20 minutes. Yeah, yeah, and I will be grateful for that. So definitely yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing just some of your experiences that have happened in this past years while you work with us, and you brought up a lot of very important points. So thank you again, Liliana, for being here, and we'll see you soon again.
Thank you.